PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories. Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. Tonight we are on episode 156, and I'm in here with Vince Delisano, Daniel Grom, myself, John Renstrom, and our new roving reporter. We still haven't come up with a title. We're making it up on the fly, Hudson Tansey.
Hey, yo.
How is everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
And who is this episode brought to you by?
This episode is brought to you by Hog Glue, Magnatech Mats, Mobile Tech RX, and our good friends over there at Edgy Tools.
Yes. Awesome. And you know what? Our last episode, we were talking about CBD oils, and I contacted the company that I get it from, and they've actually offered to sponsor our show, and they're going to be coming at us with a discount code. So be looking forward to that in the next couple episodes.
Now, I just got my first order in.
Nice.
Actually, I got it last week, and I've been using it and love it.
Mine just came in the mail today.
Okay.
Okay, what if guys don't know what CBD is? So if you don't know what CBD, it's the...
Make me Google it.
It's the active ingredient in marijuana, but they take out the THC part. That's the part that gets you high, and they leave CBD in there.
Actually, I don't think the CBD actually comes from the marijuana plant. Is it, or isn't it just certain strains?
It's a certain strain that has more of that.
They're grown specifically for the CBD oil.
Yeah, and they can control the THC level and keep it a little bit higher or lower depending on what use you're going to do it for. Like for animals, they get it down to almost zero for animals. They don't want any THC in it. And but also purity is a big factor, and these guys are doing it right. We're sampling the products now, and I'll tell you, when you're talking to an old guy like me, broken up, lots of aches and pains, all the same complaints that we all have about push and dents, CBD is a godsend.
He'd explain how he hurt his back, but it was mostly just getting off the toilet.
Yeah.
Question: does this CBD company, do they have the flavored ones, or is it just straight CBD oil?
I actually asked them about that because most CBD oils that I have taken in the past all taste like dirt.
The one I have now is mint, and I love it.
Right, but you have to be careful because adding flavors to it actually take away from the potency and the purity of it. So, I just grin and bear because really it's an eyedropper full that I'm putting underneath my tongue anyways. So I don't, I wait the 15 seconds. And, I had a raging headache this morning and I took it. Normally I take it in the evenings or at night so I sleep better. But I took it this morning and it didn't take the headache 100% away, but it was probably like 98% where I just had a ting of a headache. And that's much better than having to load up on Tylenol or Advil and stuff like that. At least it's coming from nature.
Liver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it is there's no side effects. Even Advil, is not good for your body long term. Those kind of things. CBD has no bad side effects.
Exactly. So
and it helps with other drugs.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for me right at the moment. They put me on that prescription, and I have an app on my phone called drugs.com, and it tells you every interaction. Man, it was so surprising how many over-the-counter pain relievers I can no longer take.
Yeah. Well,
so
yeah, it's good stuff. So this wasn't supposed to turn into a commercial about CBD oil, but we did secure a discount, and that will be coming up. We'll have a banner coming up on our website at pdrtooltime.com that you could click on, and I believe I secured a 10% discount. So that'll be good for you guys to be able to check it out. So
we'll post more information later.
Exactly. So we do have a topic for tonight's show. And tonight's show, we're going to go over a whole bunch of tech tips. We have a lot of requests all the time for tech tips. And how come you guys don't do tech tips anymore? And if you listen close enough, we do usually throw, tips in there throughout our broadcast. But tonight we're going to concentrate. We brought Hudson on because he's loaded with tech tips. And same with Daniel. He's loaded with them. He actually takes notes. So we're going to let these two guys go at it a little bit, and I'll add my tech tips in here and there. And I'm going to go on the fly. John's going to go on the fly. So
hopefully John has some hail tech tips for those hail chaser guys,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, today I got a fantastic call, a blast from the past. I got a call from an old friend, J.D. Martin. J.D. Martin was the owner of PDQ Tools, and he was one of the first tool makers that I met. Just stellar guy, just one of the best guys in the industry. And he ended up going through a divorce, and they had to split up the business. And then I think he said he went on to the Halo Trail and just went on his own and kind of just fell off the face of the earth. And going to MTE, his name would come up. Hey, whatever happened to J.D. Martin and stuff? And it was great hearing from him today and talking about just some of the old stuff that went down back in the day with tools. And I'm hoping that I asked him, hey, would you be willing to come on to the show? And we're going to probably have him on the show sometime in the future. I'm not sure when, but
So are you saying your tech tip is to tune in later?
Well, he's got some really interesting stories, because today we were talking a little bit about the glue pulling industry, and he was one of the first to bring slide hammers out.
Okay.
He was selling tools to the Germans, and they're the ones that brought the glue pulling over to us.
Well, if you hold on now, because if you talk to Craig from Anson, he's the one that claims to have had the first slide hammer for PDR.
But I think it came out of either Germany or Italy. I forget which.
Okay.
All right. Interesting.
Anyway, well,
I remember seeing
We'll hear his side of the story, and
Yeah, I remember seeing the PDQ stuff for when I first started, early 2000s. So.
Yeah, I remember, I believe Dent Wizard used to buy tools from PDQ, some of the tools.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the tools I had were PDQ, along with Inventure. Another resurrected company, which, maybe our listeners don't know, but TDN Group, the good fellows over there in England bought Inventure.
Yeah.
And they're reviving some of his old tools and stuff like that as well.
Now, Hudson, did you have a Huffy during the same time period that we're discussing?
Oh, come on now. I'm in my 30s. I'll be 31 next week.
Really?
I had to
you
throw
don't look
that
that
in.
old.
Yeah, I'll be 31 next week. All right. Yes. And no, I didn't ride Huffy. I was a Haro guy. Thank you very much.
Oh, I was
That's the one.
I was a
right,
red line guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was made up of. I'm an old body man. I even go back as a child. I was an old body man. My bicycles were made up of junkyard bicycle parts. Mix and match and build a cool ass looking bicycle.
Very cool.
I had old frame and yeah, I didn't have any of the. I liked fixing old bikes.
My favorite bike was an FMF.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, aluminum frame. That was
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that the Elf?
Elf.
No. There used to be like the lightest bike. It was called the Elf, and it was like super light, but it broke on everyone. So, anyways,
Could have been.
back in the day, yeah.
That could be why Daniel's all busted up.
So,
Yeah.
Daniel, all right. So our topic tonight is all the tech tips that we've done throughout the ages and new ones. And, why don't you go rattle a couple off of your list for us?
So my first one. So, when you have a matte finish, we first talked about using clear tape over a matte finish, which is great. And then working on motorcycle tanks, going over emblems the emblems and designs of the emblem can really screw with you. And so I switched over to, I found some tan tape, but that wasn't still that good. And now I've bought black packing tape, and you can find it on Amazon. And black obviously is going to be your best bet because it's going to reflect better. And
it's high gloss?
Yeah, high gloss, black packing tape.
So it doesn't have to be clear, is what you're saying.
No, especially if you're going over an emblem on a motorcycle tank, because you want to cover up that emblem.
Yeah,
you could use that on a, heck, say if you're outside and you're on a white car, you could take that and put it on a white car if you're having a hard time seeing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Now, see, right along that line, Daniel, I can follow that up. Now, when I do a hood as a hail guy, they got these flat stickers, on the new cars. Like my Grand Cherokee is an off-road model, and the whole hood is flat black. Yeah, the whole center. So I use, instead of tape or anything like that, I use a spray can called Quick Check. It was designed for painters for putting clear coat on spray out cards. It wipes off. You've got about, last summer it was 90 degrees in my stall. I had about 15 to 20 minutes of working time with it. Yeah. And you can do large areas. But now I know black packaging tape for motorcycle tanks and emblems. That's awesome. I never knew that.
If you're working on a sticker, you don't want to be tapping down on that sticker.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You want to put tape over it so you don't mar that sticker up.
How did you find black packaging tape? What were you Googling for?
No.
It was bondage night up in Windsor, actually, California.
You can actually find black packing tape in any color. You can buy it in red, pink, blue, yellow, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Now there's my tech tip. You go, Hudson.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Pull this up, my notes here.
Oh, see, I'm a paper guy. Mine would have been on paper right in front of me.
So I'll say this. This isn't a tool. Well, it is a tool, but there's a book that I require every single person that works for my company to read. It's the worst title of a book ever, but it's highly influential. It's Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
And if you're someone who isn't very extroverted, you're very introverted, more on the shy type, and small talk and things like that aren't easy for you. There's a lot of guys out there, like, they just want to put their head down and work, but interacting with people is part of the job. This right here will give you a toolkit essentially for when it comes to communication and talking with people, how people want to be communicated to, spoken to, listened to. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I mean, it's millions of copies have been sold, but
it's referenced all the time.
Yeah. And, I
Great book.
It's required reading for anyone that works for me. And the guy who works for me now, he's very shy, and he's like, dude, I'm so glad you made me read that, because there's so many times that I'm just like, golly, I don't want to deal with these people. But it's like, just like when we show up to a job, like, I'm going to fix a dent in a door. I got my window wedge, my guard, and my flag tool. It's the same sense when I show up to talk to this person, to this customer, I now have kind of a toolkit of talking points and things that I can say or things I can speak to that makes that person feel valued and wanted and things of that nature, which is great when it comes to customer service.
Yeah, absolutely.
I consider that a tool. It's not your conventional PDR tool, but
that's a business tool.
Exactly. It's a business tool. Most of mine that I have today are more on the business side of tools.
Well, good. Well, the one that I wanted to bring up was the hotbox. I've had a hotbox now, or some version of it. I had the YO hotbox, and then I now have the T hotbox, the original, the one that started it all, I guess. So, it's an expensive piece of machinery, and I'm not always fixing dents with it, so I had to find other creative ways of using an expensive piece of machinery that's sitting in my shop. So I heat up all sorts of stuff with that. I've talked about it in the past, putting it on glue spots on the brace on the outside of the panel, where the dent is to loosen up the glue to cut through it. But I also use it on my blade. So if before we used to, squirt WD-40 on our knife to cut through glue, or some people use Vaseline or Goop was a big one back in the day.
Yep.
I actually, it's faster now for me and cleaner to just heat up my blade with that hot box. I heat it up to the point that it's smoking red hot. And before I used to use a torch to do that, which would take minutes. It's happening in seconds now with the hot box. So combined heating up the blade itself with the hot box and then heating up the glue, I'm able to cut through glue immediately and precision. So I'm not, you get on some of those Dodge or Jeeps where it's the whole brace has a bead of glue across there. I could go
they glued it on like they think their panel's going to fall off.
Oh, sure. And it's like,
second.
I could go in precision, just an area that I need to cut off now, rather than cutting a larger area. And the hot box allows me to do that. And that's just a little tech tip that I thought of on the fly.
Yeah. I have a hot box and I'm still trying to learn how to use that thing accurately.
You can heat your can of beans.
Ooh,
yeah.
The big thing though is to get a long cord.
Oh yeah.
So,
Brent Ringland was the guy that came up with long cords and sells them. I believe Anson does carry longer ones too, but they're not like Brent Ringland's like 30 feet long.
Yeah, I put the 30 footers on there, and that's awesome. I mean, even though mine's on a rolling cart, just knowing that you never hit the end of your cord.
Yeah.
Since I'm a mobile tech, I have Anson had these these glue kits, these like kind of Pelican case glue kits. I don't know if y'all had Anson.
Uh-huh.
I took that and I took out all the foam pieces and everything. I have a spot in that little foam case for my hot box, and it sits in there perfectly. I don't even have to take it out of the box. It's great.
Now, the main thing I do use my hot box for when I'm doing dents is I blend with them, where I find myself doing more of a combination repair with the hot box. I'll glue pull, and then that'll bring it up to a point, and then I use the hot box to go around that point and make it a smooth mound, and then blend down, and that prevents having to go back and glue pull and glue pull and glue pull, trying to get out of center of a dent.
But then is it soften up the peak of the glue pull, and then maybe you're not cowboying as much with the tap down either? You don't have to tap as hard?
Exactly. It's more of a smooth mound rather than Mount Everest.
Awesome. I might have to play with that one a little bit.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was night and day. Once I started doing that on rails and stuff like that, it's like this is the way it was intended for. It was perfect.
Awesome. Great tip.
Funny about the hot box. Funny thing, one of my local body shops got bought out by a larger body shop chain, and one of the CFO or one of the high up guys was there, and like, hey, this is our dent guy. Come meet him. He's like one of the family, and I meet the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, and he like decides to tell me, he's like, yeah, we're going to be buying probably one of those hot box things, those dent boxes. That way we can fix people's dents. Like if a customer comes in with like a door ding, we'll just have one of those available, and like a free service that we offer, where we'll just be able to put that on. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Go ahead and let them bake the paint in the parking lot, and then you're stuck painting a panel.
Right.
Like I was just like, okay,
Try white.
Cool.
Yeah, a try white just burns the middle coat right off of it if you just get cowboy with that thing.
And I was like, why are you telling me this? Like, I was just introduced to you as the dent guy, and you
should have told them that you'd buy it at a used price when they figure it out it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I buy old tools for 10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, right. Like, golly, man.
All right, I'll bring this one back. So, when you're working in the center of a door and you're tapping down and you just got that rain of dirt, like I'm from here in the Midwest, everything is dusty and dirty and everything. And you just get that rain of dirt always coming out of the belt molding. Mm-hmm. I take regular old painter's masking tape, put a strip between that, the belt molding and the door itself. No more dirt. Your panel stays clean. Yeah. As you tap everything back, you don't get that rain of dirt coming down all the time.
Now, can you figure something out for me with front fenders in that? Golly.
Man, front fenders and box sides. Now, there's been a couple where if the box side is bad and I'm really going to be doing some beating, I'm up in it with the pressure washer or have the detailer wherever I'm at pressure wash the back side of the
pine
box
needles side. And leaves and all sorts of stuff come out of those fender liners.
I'll pull the tail light out first and then have the detailer go after it with the pressure washer.
Yeah. Daniel, don't be falling asleep over there. Give us a good one.
My tech tip is Got Print. If you guys haven't used Got Print for your business cards, for flyers, for window hangers or mirror hangers, you can get everything there super, super cheap. So I get 5,000 business cards, full color, front and back, for $45.
5,000
cards. 5,000.
Wow, that's good.
I used to use Got Print back in the day. I switched back.
Right after my dial-up connected.
And you switched. Why?
I saw from the beginning of whenever I first started using them to 5-6 years down the road because I buy 1,000 at a time of business cards, and I just saw the quality dropping a little bit. They were still good quality, but I could see a clear difference because I always keep one or two of my business cards because I like to change them up every year. Mm-hmm. And I could just see like the stock paper was getting a little bit thinner. And I
never noticed that ever.
Yeah. Maybe they just don't like me.
Well, you can choose your stock paper.
Yeah, no. And I always got the thicker stock and I always round the corners on all my business cards, but I could have just had that. It was just one run that I got that I didn't like. So I switched to a different company, but that was only 1 out of 5 times I've used them was the bad. So yeah, I've used Got Print.
That's gotprint.com.
Yep.
Yeah. And they do good work.
And I mean, it's like,
one of the best things is get it's like a door hanger, that hangs on a door, but you hang it on a mirror and then you can make the bottom part perforated. And so you can put like a discount code so they can rip that off and give it to a friend. So when you're delivering the car, it says, thank you for your business, blah, blah, blah. You say whatever you want. And then, hey, give this discount card to a friend. So it's a great way for them to become your best.
Yeah, that's under their, Daniel, that's under their custom door hanger printings. They also have a hanging tag, but that's got a little like a shot collar or cord hanger onto it. So yeah, the custom door hanger.
Yep.
Hey, I really like that idea, putting that perforated bottom onto it with the extra coupon for a friend.
Yep.
You know what I used to do at some of my pre-owned lots is I would, with permission from one of the managers who liked me a lot, is I got little stickers about the size of $50. And it says this vehicle was made dent free by Dent Gents, and then it had my website dentgents.com, and I put it right on the inside of the driver's side door. Yeah, the door jamb.
I've been doing that for years, Hudson, and you'd be surprised how many repeat customers you get from that.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes they're not the same owner.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's free advertising.
Been fixing this car for 10 years and 4 owners.
Well, it's also nice when you see that sticker, you go, oh, I worked on this car before. And then you look at the dent and you go, oh my God, I was horrible back then.
I love repeat customers because I always say like, hey, do you remember where the dent was on this car that I fixed earlier? And they're like, yeah, it was on the right quarter panel. And I go and I look and I'm like, and I can't see anything. I'm like, good job, past Hudson. Good job. I can't even see where you were.
You're funny.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Hudson, do you have another one, buddy?
Yeah, I've got all kinds over here. I mean, all kinds of things. I've made a couple of videos here recently. One thing that I posted a video on was different hats at different dealerships. So if you're a route guy, so I do several different accounts, and most of my accounts I service are high-end dealerships.
Yeah.
And so when I go, I have my Dent Gents shirt on, has my name and logo, but the hat is if I'm at Porsche, I'm gonna wear a Porsche hat. If I'm at Lamborghini or Mercedes, I have a different hat, and I just keep them in my work van. And what that is kind of a psychology thing where I want them to know I'm on your team. Like, I'm here to help you sell these cars. I'm a team player. And this is the Dent Gent show. This is the Porsche show, and I'm helping you sell your Porsches. So that's like, I have no scientific backing for that, whether that's actually like legit, but I've had, I every time I wear them, not every time, but I've had several comments on it from people, the salesmen, the managers, the people. They're like, "Oh, yeah, sweet hat."
Ultimately, that's cheap to do too.
Yeah, $20.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. You're showing people that at that dealership that, like you said, you're part of the team. You're there to help, and you're helping selling cars for them. You're cleaning their cars up and making them easier for them to sell and faster.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So that, and then what goes along with that is professionalism in the sense of getting a collared shirt with your logo put on it. So I go to Old Navy and I go to Target and I get $15 to $20. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like collars. I had to learn to like collars, but especially as a young guy, I had to look professional so people would take me more seriously.
I have trouble fixing cars in a t-shirt now. I've been wearing a polo shirt fixing cars for 14 years now, if not longer than that. If I'm wearing a t-shirt right now and it's fine, but if I go down to do some PDR, I'm like, this doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel natural.
Well,
and it looks go ahead.
Here's another thing that I just found today, because I just ordered some from Amazon. Amazon Essentials have polo shirts that are super cheap. They're like $15, right? $15 to $20.
Are they dry fit?
Yeah, they're dry fit. The dry fit ones were $15, and the regular per K or whatever ones were $12. But here's the kicker: you could actually order samples, and they give you 7 days to try them before they'll even charge you for them. So if you don't like them, you send them back, and there's no charge. If you decide to keep them, so you could order up to 8 items on Amazon in Amazon Essentials clothing, and they'll send you them to sample them out to see if they fit right, if they look good, if you like them. Then you hold on to them and order more, or you send them all back if you don't like them. It's really cool.
Have you got yours yet?
I just did it today, so they should be here in the next few days.
I hope.
Daniel, what do you wear?
Me?
No, Daniel.
I wear a t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, for me,
I don't have to talk to customers most of the time.
What do you have? Is Tony the Tiger wearing a polo or a
midriff? No, she's wearing a midriff.
No, tube top.
She wears a Harley jacket.
Oh, that's awesome.
She will wear a Harley jacket during summer, during 100-degree weather. I mean, she has a heater by her station, and it's blaring full blast. I mean, she's got the office so hot. I go in there, and I can only go in there for a few minutes, and then I got to jam out because it's too hot in there. She's got a cold problem. I don't know.
But, continuing that with just like, especially like so for those that don't know, I'm mobile retail. I go to people's houses in their garages. I'm also body shop, dealerships. So I do a little bit of everything. And so when I show up, I want to make sure I'm looking clean, crisp, professional.
Well, I like the shirt you're wearing right now. That's the push metal.
That's my push metal workout shirt. I did the workout before I got here.
See, I think that looks professional. I think, it's still a t-shirt, but it's what kind of material would you call that?
It's dry fit. Like I said, so I worked out in it today, and man, it didn't feel like I got anything on.
I wasn't going to say anything, but you do smell a little bit.
I do. This is true. I have a sweating problem. Yeah. But yeah, so show up looking professional.
I'm going to have to give me one of those, man. Those look good.
Yeah, Crystal said they'll be up pretty soon on the Crystal with push metal. So they'll be up.
It does make you look older and sexier.
That's what I was going for. The whole Burt Reynolds thing.
Yeah. Oh, Burt Reynolds.
Nice.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I'm already tapped out on tech tips.
All right.
Really? I have so many more.
Yeah, you got a million more. They're stuck in your head. But here's one for estimating. And this doesn't just apply to Mobile Tech RX. It applies to every form of estimating that you have. Use the print preview. This is most important. When you're just doing a simple door dent, okay, fine. But when you're writing a big, whether it's hail, conventional, whatever it is that you're trying to do, once you get past 5 or 6 lines, do the print preview and look at it, read it line by line. You'll be surprised at how much stuff you actually missed, and what you, as you're reading through it, just like looking at Facebook, it's like, sucker, you didn't charge for this. And then you realize that that's you when you read your own estimate on print preview.
Okay, so so are you saying read it on print preview before you email it to make sure you put everything into
before you claim that you're done, before you think that you are truly done writing that big estimate, do the print preview and read it line by line. Tonight, but just before we got on this podcast, I was having to copy an estimate for a customer who was having trouble. I had to copy it out on this paper and put it into Mobile Tech RX. And I tell you, we had to run print preview like 15 times to make sure, because while you're staring at it on the screen, it's so easy to miss a simple 1/10 of an hour, 2/10 of an hour here, our $10 corrosion protection charge. Yeah. It's so easy to miss it when you're positive you put it in. Just do that quick print preview. It will make you more money.
So print preview equates to proofread your estimate before emailing it.
Yep.
Okay. It should proofread
it as a whole. As a whole. And that's, that when we look in our estimating systems like Mobile Tech, any of the app-based systems, as well as even the desktop versions, you're always breaking everything down into each individual little section, Oh, I did the R&Is when I did this. I did, and you look at it, but you need to take it's like taking a step back away from your dent by about 3 feet and looking at it. It's exact same, except you're doing it with your paper. So use that print preview, look over your whole estimate, read it thoroughly.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
I'm still thinking, Daniel, go ahead.
Okay. So everybody loves the cherry tips, right? The what is it?
R4 for the R4, the Dentcraft R4.
So take your R4, take the cherry tip off, and take it to your bench grinder. Drink.
I think from now on, anytime Daniel says bench grinder, we need some sort of just sound effect. Something that just comes.
I haven't found some good ones that load right in yet, because I needed some clapping, some laugh track.
So take it to your bench grinder. Now, your bench grinder should have a sanding component. So I don't really use the grinder that much. I use a sander. So I have a sander on all my bench grinders.
What grit?
Well, I leave it on there for so long it gets pretty worn down. But I have
but I don't think you want to
have an expanding wheel from Eastwood. Sells an expanding wheel, so it's nice and soft. So you can take your tools, you can roll the edges really nice and everything. But take it to the sander and just sand the very tip of it down a little bit, just a tiny bit, and flatten it out. And you'll find that you won't blow through your cherry tips as fast.
I could have sworn they sell one already like that.
Do they?
I could have, because I have one that's flat on top, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I must have accidentally bought it. I'm gonna. We need to look into that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look into it, because all my cherry caps are cherry caps.
Yeah, I have one that's got a flat top on it, and I don't know how I got it.
You steal it from me? You stole it from me. You son of a bitch.
Probably.
All right, so that's a 2-for-1. A bench grinder, but don't use a grinding wheel. Get a sanding disc on it and a little bit finer grit, and then
you'll use your sanders way more. Well,
that's what I was thinking. Was a bench grinder is a little tough on most of our tools.
The expansion wheel is great because you can change. You can buy them with a bunch of different grit sandpapers, and they have some really fine ones, so you can almost polish with them. Right, they're that fine, and but you can pop them off with your fingers. You don't have to do anything. You can just slide them off and pop another one on there, and it's really fast and quick. So check that out.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Hudson.
All right. This one.
Give it to us. Come on.
It's a social media one. A lot of people, I'm surprised, don't know this, but if you don't have an Instagram account for your business yet, you should. People usually get a Facebook and then they get an Instagram. But a lot of people have come through several conversations. They don't realize that when you post to Instagram, you can instantaneously, just by a click of a button, also go to Facebook and Twitter. So you make one post and you get 3 posts out of one post. And like every single post
platform
on my Facebook page is just from Instagram.
Yeah, you cover all 3 platforms with one post.
Yeah, so not a lot of people, and like the hashtags carry over. Everything carries over. Also, you should have your hashtags for your posts saved like in your notes section on your phone. Don't individually put in hashtags every time. Go in and just make your standard hashtags that you want for all your posts, and just copy and paste it, so you don't have to go through it every time.
Don't you use Apple?
I do use Apple. What? Oh, do you? Because of the quick reference things. Go ahead, give us that tip.
Text. All right. Quit wasting your time copying and pasting everything all the time.
Dang,
Text replacement. Go into the settings on your iPhone. Go to keyboard. Go to text replacement. Copy and paste the one last time ever in your life. Give yourself a simple 1 or 2 digit code. Tap that and it puts it in every time with 2 taps of your finger.
Now tell me how to do that on an Android, because I haven't figured out how to do it on an Android.
Buy an Apple.
Buy an Apple.
An Apple. You dingus.
He's got an Apple computer, but he's like, I don't know what
Dude,
it is.
everything I have is Apple except for my phone. Dude, and it comes in handy, especially lately with Mobile Tech RX going through its growing pains. You know, I have the Android.
It should be all cured now.
It is.
Search is back.
Yes, search is back. The alphabet's not back, but search is back. And it's working greater than ever.
Back
it's fantastic.
to search, back to reality.
It was, and
pretty much.
Yeah, it sucked that it took so long to get that search back. I got nothing. I got nothing on that. I'm just sorry. That's all I can say for Search Via God for 2 weeks.
Oh wow! Anyone got another one? Who's got another one?
Heat up your aluminum to 180 degrees. So when you're working on aluminum, 180 degrees supposedly will give you more memory when you're working on aluminum. There you go.
Yeah, I've heard 180 to 230.
Yeah.
But at what temperature? I've been told you don't want to get your paint over 180, 190.
That's on
It's
steel.
220. That's
So if you look at if you do a thermometer reading on a black car on a hot day,
It had to be over 200.
It's over 200 degrees. It's 230
Okay.
degrees.
okay.
So if a black car can get that hot naturally, then it should be okay for any car.
Okay, good to know. I've always kept mine at 180, 190.
Although it doesn't quite work on Fords, in my opinion, because of the way they heat treat their metal or whatever they do to make it military grade, which sucks, by the way. Ford. I was working on a truck, and I have a temperature gauge, and I've done temperature readings, so I know, if I turn it on to 4 or 5, I know what that temperature is. And I turned it up to 5 on this black truck, and the whole panel's just sucked in.
No, on the aluminum.
On the side panel?
No, it was on a door on a truck, and the whole thing just went doink.
Well, that could be with the concave in the body lines, and because the Ford trucks tend to go concave on the doors.
No, it's a Ford truck. It's flat, but there was
I don't know if I would call those flat.
Well, they're pretty much flatter than most things, but I think it was because there was a brace in the glue in that panel the way it was. I don't know.
Now I haven't experienced that, but I have been told to run your rails on those aluminum Fords. Run the rails up to about 180 degrees before glue pulling.
Yep.
Wait.
For glue pulling, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you will your glue like dry on 180?
No. I experimented with it and I mean it, but I only had time to do one dent. I only had one dent, and I can't, like you said before, not exactly scientific when you only do it once. But if you've ever glue pulled serious damage out of a Super Duty or an F-150 rail, odds are good you're going to pull the paint anyway. You have nothing to lose by trying it. Warm it up, and go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are you guys seeing the same thing when you're working on a Ford? It's different than any other aluminum.
It is, yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
More brittle.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I went up and looked at a dent, and it would have been a normal dent on any other truck. And it blew through the spot welds. It pulled the spot welds off. And when I did an inspection and pulled this tail light, I'm like, dude, you got to replace this whole bedside. I said a bad word. Bad me.
We could tell you weren't paying any attention, but Hudson and I are both like, wait a second.
That just came out.
That's what the F-150s will do to you, though, won't it?
God.
They will drive you.
You know what? I'm surprised. You see some of the Facebook posts and stuff. Why the mainstream media hasn't just gone all over Ford for this whole problem? Because I mean, I'm seeing wrecks where the whole cab comes off the truck. Rivets are pulling apart.
The metal
There's
tears.
No one's died yet.
Tears.
No
in
one's
half.
died
Tears?
Yeah.
As soon as someone dies, as soon as you have a death involved, then you'll see it. But until then, and that's the thing. The safety technology is crazy advanced now. So even though the cab is ripping off, you're still in this little bubble bouncing down the road.
The outside is gone, but you're in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the insurance rates on? Because it's got to go through the roof.
Right now, I'm not hearing anything from people with them trucks. But speaking of safety, here is your tech tip. Start learning about these safety things. The posts are all over Facebook. We've got IMI out there as far as hybrids and the all electric cars. But as we moved into glass into Mobile Tech RX, we've become really in tune with a lot of the glass companies and the glass industry. And so many cars have got the sensors right there on the windshields.
Yep.
Subarus, Hondas,
BMW.
As soon as you drop the headliner, hey, guys, unplug. You now are responsible for that safety feature of that car.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, along with the IMI, I could throw out some tech tips with that too. We generally, I don't know if you saw the Super Bowl commercial with Audi. It kind of caught me off guard. They did a Super Bowl commercial. Most people were sleeping through the Super Bowl because it was so boring. But anyways, Audi had a commercial saying that by 2025, a third of their fleet will be electrified.
Will be electric. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. We already know that GM only has 2 right now, but in the next 5 years, they're going to have 25 hybrid or electric vehicles.
GM, they just got rid of the Bolt.
Not Bolt. They're coming up with something else.
And Volkswagen's getting ready to release a new electric, aren't they?
Yeah. And Volvo, all of them, I believe by next year will either be hybrid or electric.
Yeah.
So it's coming.
The one thing I wish they had a inexpensive scanner that we could all get behind.
I've got news of one for a scanner that connects to your phone. So I'm actually going to get it this week and find out if it actually works for resetting codes. They swear that it resets codes. So yeah.
I would love to hear about that.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll bring that information to you once we spent our money and figured it out for you.
Yeah, we'll bring it to you and say yay or nay.
Yep.
So, well, good. Is there any other burning desires of tech tips? Because we're running out of time here.
I got one that's the biggest pet peeve of mine. I even made a video on it, and I'm going to say it here.
Okay.
We need, as PDR technicians, need to stop using dent tools in our logos and our marketing because no one knows what they are.
Yeah.
But I know what I mean. The people you want to find you, they don't know what a dent tool is. I went and posted a picture of a Ford tool, the tube end, on my Facebook page. And I said, if you do not work in the automotive industry at all, okay, you're just a normal person. What is this? And of the 50 people that replied, 36 people had no clue what it was. 12 people only knew what it was because they'd actually had dent removal done to their vehicle, or they've worked for me, taking headliners down. And the other two, that knew what it was is because this lady, she dated a guy who was a dent guy, and then her husband now knows who her ex is. Yeah. And that's it. You're 36 of those people had no clue what a dent tool. Yeah. This is your standard logo. This is the most popular dent tool in logos.
Okay, instead of doing that, Hudson, I think everybody listening to us, post on your personal Facebook page all your dent tools, so everybody will be educated to know what a dent tool is, and then we can keep our logos.
Exactly. Well, no, I mean, if you already have it and you're successful, then don't listen to me. Give me a middle finger. But if you're struggling or you're rebranding, because it's things are happening, try going to dent tools, getting rid of them.
Can I keep my clip art car?
Yeah.
Wrong. And then PDR. People use the acronym PDR.
PDR.
Like even body shop guys, like they're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm the PDR guy." They're like, "The what?" I'm like, "The dent guy." Like, "Oh." Like people don't know what PDR is.
Well,
the desk reference.
Pretty dang ridiculous.
Let's take a poll right here between the four of us. What should it be? Paintless dent repair or paintless dent removal? I'm removal because I'm removing the dent.
Yeah, removal.
I'm making it look like it never happened.
I've been repair so long, and repairing cars. That's how I always look at it. But you do make a strong point about the removal.
It was removal to start with, so that's what was originally said and put out there.
I can go either way as long as you don't put PDR and you just put it actually spelled out. I'm happy.
Along with you posting what your dent tools look like, also educate all your friends what PDR means.
Yeah. And then also, Hudson, go and ask all those same people, would you like your dent repaired or would you like your dent removed? And see what answer they give you.
Yeah, and that's something that I had never even thought of, Vince, until you bring that up right now. We have that discussion. I've been a body man. Everything was repair, not remove. But ultimately, it makes far more sense in the PDR world that it should be paintless dent removal.
But are you actually removing it? You're not taking it off of something. That's the thing. So if we get down to like the nitty gritty here, like you're not actually removing it from the vehicle. You can look at
I'm removing it from the line of sight, however.
Oh, getting fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good argument.
That's a little, that
is a good debate. I bet you that could be a 20 or 30 minute show all on its own.
I'm trying to, I literally had this conversation with someone at Mobile Tech, and I was full on 100% paintless dent removal because we're removing it. And then I can't remember who it was. And if you listen to this and you need to remind me, it may have been Matt Moore with Easy Dent or Stephen Hamby. And they gave me a really good reason why they like repair over removal. And I'm like, that's a valid point. Crap. Now I'm no longer 100% removal. I'm like 75-25.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still removal. Like Daniel said, that's what it was when it started. And that's what I'm doing to the car. I'm removing that dent from the car.
But we're old guys. Say he's a young guy. He can do the repair. We're old guys. We're going to be removal. Yeah.
How about this? The dent can classify whatever it wants to be. It's 2019. So it wants to classify as being removed. It can be
right.
Yeah.
If it wants to classify as being repaired, you can be repaired too, buddy.
Yeah. I don't want to be the type.
Correct.
Exactly. I don't want to be the type to name that dent.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, is it engine repair or engine removal?
Well, yes. Well, how about this? Mobile Tech RX should have a box, for the customer to check. Would you want it repaired? Would you like it removed or other?
Other.
Choose not to specify. Right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right.
Choose not to specify.
Yeah. That now you're politically correct.
Yes. Well, cool.
All right.
Well, guys, I think that brings us to a conclusion to another great episode. We thank all of our listeners for your support and joining us, and look forward to giving you some more great information.
Yes, drop us a line, whether it's on Facebook or privately through Messenger or through our website, and we'll get back to you and tell us some content that you want to hear. Not that we're starving for content, but we want to give our listeners the content that they want to hear. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So on that note, Daniel, what do you got to say, man?
Dude, level up your damn tools.
Keep it stiff.
And don't do stupid stuff.
Hudson's going to have to come up with something now. This has been another episode of PBR Tool Time.